Hi, this is Ziad Ali for Object-Oriented Programming. In this tutorial, you will learn Java string basics, the most commonly used functions with strings, and how to compare two strings. In order to use strings in your code, you need to make use of Java string class. Java string class comes with a Java standard library, so whenever you use it, no need to import any Java package. How to use a string, straightforward, the word string, and the name of the object. Notice that the letter S in string is uppercase. How to assign value to a string, straightforward, string, city, any character sequence between double quotes. Since string is an object, in Java you create a new object by using the new operator. Both will result in the same thing. If you are still new to object-oriented programming, never mind, but you need to know that both statements here would result in creating a new string object called city. The value of that object is Doha. The plus operator is widely used with strings. It is used primarily to concatenate or join two strings. If you try to output hello plus world, the output will be hello world. You can also concatenate a string literal with an integer variable or any other literal or a variable or even escape sequence like \n to get a new line. If either side of the plus operator is a string, the result will be a string. Here I'm creating my first string object, string greet equals any character sequence between double quotes, hello world. You can output it using sysout, and I'll put greet here. Quickly run this code to see the output. Hello world. I'll create another string, call it string lang equals Java, and I'll also output the string. I'll copy paste the code quickly and here type lang. If I run this code, I'll get hello world for the first string, second will give me Java. I can create a third string by concatenating the first two. Let's see this, string all equals greet. I can add a space between them, greet plus lang. So now my string will be hello world, then a space, then lang. Let me output the new string. Very useful way to use concatenation operator with strings. So hello world Java. I can also append or add more text to my string by using the combined assignment operator. All plus equal, I will say version 15. So now version 15 will be added to the end of the all string. So if I output the new string now, it will be the contents of all before the combined assignment operator added the new data. Okay, see now in line 17, the output is Hello World Java version 15. In many cases, you try to use what we call special characters like double quotes. If you use it directly this way, you're going to get a syntax error. In order to use some special characters, you need to use what we call escape character, which is backslash. So if you want to include double quotes or single quote or backslash in your string, just precede it with a backslash. So backslash single quote would allow you to add single quote in your string. Same thing, backslash double quote and backslash. So to do this example, for example, if you want two double quotes around the word Vikings here, you just precede it with backslash. If you want a single quote here, it's all right, just precede it with a backslash. From other examples and C++, you know that \n gives you a new line, \t gives you tab. You see here a list of most commonly used escape characters in Java. For a complete list of those escape characters, you can visit the Java documentation site on Oracle. Let's see some example on using escape characters. If you want to put the word started between two double quotes, putting them directly like this will generate a syntax error. Just put before the double quote \. Now if you run it, and you can see it in the output. If you want a single quote around the word talking, for example, just \single quote, \single quote after that. So now the word talking is in between two single quotes. If you want a backslash, you just put two backslashes. So here, the word begin will be between two backslashes. The first backslash is the escape character, and the second one is the one that to be printed in the output. If you want tab in the beginning, just put \t. If you want a new line, you can put a new line anywhere in your code. Even you can put multiple new lines and multiple tabs. Let's see the output now. So we get a tab here before the, then we get two new lines before the word get. If you have a long string, you need to give it some kind of a special care, because string literals cannot span multiple lines in Java. This thing will give you, for example, this will generate an error because you cannot end the line without ending the string. A simple fix to this is using the plus operator. You can type as much as you want and then move to the next line using the plus operator. All these lines will be printed at the output as a one line because there is no new line string. You do this sometimes for readability, not for output. It's not easy to have a string that with tens of words horizontally in your code. You will see also how Eclipse editor is going to help you automatically convert the string to a multi-line string by adding the plus operator and double quotes to those new lines. It can contain also any data type like you see here, multiple strings plus one literal. Same thing here. This is a multi-line string. The first two are in one line, as you see the output here. They are just broken down into two strings. Then you see a new line character and a tab, new line character and tab. So this is the output that you would expect from this code. Let us see an example. In this example, I'll try to use a string with a long text. String text equals between double quotes, I put all this string. I will end it with a semicolon. This is going to work fine. However, it's not easy to manage the long string going right and left, back and forth. Let us output it. Text. Let's see the output. So the output is like this. Even if you want the output to be like this, but you want the strings to be broken down to multiple lines, see now in Eclipse, if you put the cursor anywhere and press enter, they add the plus sign to you automatically. See, I'm going to add a new line here. All the three lines now are part of a one single line string. However, it's much easier to read your code this way. Let me run this code. It still gives me the same output, but it's easier to read and manage my code using the plus operator. Java string class has so many methods and utility functions to be used with string objects. We will see some of them. We cannot cover all of them in one tutorial. To get the string length, you can use the length function of the string class. Here's a string. You can get the txt, which is the object name, then use the function name provided to you by the string class. This will return the number of characters, including white spaces in the string. To output a string in uppercase or lowercase, you can use to uppercase or to lowercase methods that are available with string objects. Only the output will change. As you see here, the text itself inside the original object will not be changed. Let us see these two things. Here I have a long text. I want to get the length of the string. I can use an integer, len equals txt dot or text dot length. So now I can output the number of characters in the txt string. Let us say text length plus len. Run this code. I will also try to output the same text in uppercase and lowercase. Text 2. There are so many functions available to you. One of them is to uppercase. I leave it empty here. You will be taught later about locales. I will again output the same one in lowercase, txt dot to lower case. Let us see the output. Here's the length of the string, 72, the string in uppercase, the string in lowercase, and I can output the same string finally to show you that the original text object did not change. Last line will contain the original text. Let me run this. So this is the original text. Next method is indexOf. The indexOf method returns the index, which is the position of the first character or the occurrence in the specified text. Here we have this string. If you use the function or method indexOf change, it will return the position of the first occurrence of the word change. It will return the location. Remember, string first location is 0, so this is going to be location 7. So the output of this will be 7. If the character sequence you are searching for is not available in the string, so the function will return -1. Next function is isEmpty. IsEmpty, as the name implies, will return true if the string is empty and false otherwise. Here we have string s. This string is empty, even no space inside, and this string is not. So S1 is empty, will return true, and S2 is empty, will return false. Let us see this in Eclipse. To see if a sequence of character exists in a string, we use indexOf. Let's see that. Out txt text index of, and you can put either one character or a sequence of characters. I'll put the word great, which is available in the string, and I expect the output to be the first occurrence of the word great, the position of the letter G. Let me run this. 22. If I search for start, I get the first location of start. If you search for something that does not exist in the string, like TTT, you get -1. This is very common in search functions and methods in most programming languages. So when you get -1, you know the thing you are searching for is not available. Let us check if the string is empty. Is same string, is empty, this should return false. Let me run this. False. If I put a new string, s2 equals, this is an empty string, and I can use the same code to show you the output. S2 now. So S2 is empty will be true. S2 is empty. There is no space in the middle. If you put space here, that's what you get. False, because there is a space and space is a character. One popular method with a string class is the function replace. Replace returns a string and replaces all the old characters or character sequence to a new list of characters. If you look at this example, st3 is equal hi, welcome to C++. If you want to replace C++ with Java, we use the method replace. This is the text we are searching for, and the second parameter is going to be the text we are going to use to replace it. This method returns a new string. You can store the value in a new string. For example, here we'll say string, replace string. So the new string will be stored inside replace string. If you output the replace string, you will get hello, welcome to Java. You can also replace single characters in a string, like here, string 4 is radar, string replace string 1 is equal to S4 replace the character A with the character $. So every occurrence of the character A will be replaced with the character $. If you print a second string, you get this in the output. If you try to search for something and it does not exist, nothing will be changed. Let us write some code. Here I have string s3, hi, welcome to C++. I will replace C++ with Java. I'll call this new s, which is going to equal to s3 replace C++, and the second parameter will be the new string, Java 15, for example. I'm going to now to output the second string, new s, and let us see the output. Welcome to Java 15. If you try to use something that does not exist, like GGG, this string sequence or character sequence is not available, so no change would be done to the new string. In the second example, I have a string s4 equals radar. I have another string called new s1 equals s4 dot replace. I'll replace single character here, which is the letter A with the $sign. What's going to happen? Each occurrence of the character A will be replaced with the $sign. Let me show you the output of the new string, which is a new S1. Let us run it. As you see here, we get radar. But instead of the character A, we get $sign. One more popular method with the string class is contains. Contains help you a lot in terms of it tells you whether a sequence of character is found or not in the string. If it's found, it returns true, otherwise false. Here we have string 5 S5. If you ask it, S5 contains happy, the output here will be true. If you check for sad, since sad is not available in the text, the output will be false. Another one to check the end characters or the end sequence of characters in a string. Here in S6, if you want to use the function ends with, never begin, which is true. So, because this text ends with never begin. So the answer will be true. If you check for impossible, impossible exists in the string, but it does not show at the end of the string. That's why you get false. Now we're going to see how to compare strings in Java, and it needs a bit of attention. You can compare strings in Java on the basis either of the content of the string or a reference. We'll explain how. If you use the double equality operator, you are comparing the reference, not the value of the string. How? Here in this code, when you use string s1 Java, in memory, the Java runtime will create one string, and the variable s1 will refer to it. The second string, string s2 Java, since both strings are identical, the Java runtime will not create a new string. Also, the second string s2 will point to and use the same reference in memory. Why Java does that? There are so many reasons. One of them is memory management. So now, if you compare S1 and S2 using the check for equality operator, you get true, because both S1 and S2 refer or point to the same memory reference. So here, S1 is equal to S2, you get true because both refer to the same instance. However, in S3, if you use the new operator, you instantiate a new string object. It's not like doing it by just providing a string literal. So here a new string object will be created in memory, and S3 will point to or refer to this memory reference. It's true that the text in both references is the same, but these are two different references in memory. That's why if you use the equality operator to compare S1, which is Java, and S3, which is Java, you get false. Simply because you are comparing references, not the content of the string. Same thing applies to string 4. I created S4, which is J. So J was created in memory, and S4 in the beginning will point to J. You need to know that strings in Java are immutable. Immutable means they cannot change and you cannot edit them. If you make a change to a string, actually a new string with the new content will be created, and that the variable name will refer to the new location. So as you see in this line now, I am adding AVA to the J letter, which results in the word Java. However, Java runtime does not have the capability to know that if you create it this way, it cannot make sure that it's available somewhere with the same thing. So they create a new place in memory, and the S4 variable or object will stop pointing at the previous location and will start referencing the new location. As I said before, Java strings are immutable. If you make a change, they just cross it and start the new string in another place, and the object will point to the new place. So now for S4, it has its own reference. S3 has its own reference. S1 and S2, they both share the same reference. So when you use equality, you are actually comparing references, not the contents. You need to understand this in Java to understand the output you get sometimes when you do comparisons of strings using the double equality operators. This step or this way is not safe. You are better if you use the equals method. The equals method compares the content of the string, not the reference. And sometimes that's what you want. So, and you have two different types of equals method. Equals, which is compare strings, contents. And there is another nice one, equals ignore case. It does not care if there is a case difference. You know, Java's case sensitive. So the second one ignores any case differences in the code. Let us see this example here. S5 is Katara. So Katara is added in memory. S6 again is Katara, but this S6 is what? Is all caps. So it does not equal Katara, so a new reference will be created in memory here for S6. Now let us see S7. S7 is created using the new operator, and a third reference is created in memory. S8 is created again with a K first here, then S8 is modified. If it's modified, it will no longer point to this. It will point to a new reference. So now you have four strings and they have four different references. However, the equals method compares the content, not the references. So S5 equals S6 will be false, simply because the case mismatch. You see here, there are two different strings. But if you use S5 equals ignore case S6, the output will be true because you don't care about the case. Again, S7 and S5, yes, it's true. Although both are in different references here, but as I said, the equals and equals ignore case, they compare the contents of the string, not the reference. Finally, S8, which is Katara now, if you compare it with S5 ignore case, you get true. So because both are the same, even without ignore case, you get true. So double equality operator, check the references. However, equals and equals ignore case, check the contents or compare the contents of the strings, not the references. Now let us look at this code. What happens when you compare strings using the double equality operator? S1 is Java, S2 is also Java. So now you know both will share the same memory reference. However, S3 is created using the new operator, so a new reference will be given to S3. S4 is created in two different steps. The first time J letter, then you are modifying it. If you modify a string, then it will no longer point to J. A new reference will be created since strings are immutable. Now, what we expect now, S1 compared to S2 will be true. Any other comparison would be false since S4 has its own reference, S3 has its own reference. Let's run. So the answer is true, false, false. Next, we'll see how to use the equals and equals ignore case functions. Now we have another example that uses the functions equals and equals ignore case. We have the string S5, which is Katara. It has its own reference in memory. String S6, which is Katara, but all caps. This is not the same context or same contents, so a new reference will be created in memory. S7 is created with the new keyword, then a new reference is created. S8 is created at two steps, K plus Katara. So they all have the same contents in different cases. So each string instance has its own unique reference. So now S5, which is Katara, equals S6, which is Katara, all caps, will be false. However, S5 equals ignore case S6 will be true. S7, which is Katara here, it's a new reference. If you compare it with S5, you get true because both have the same text. Again, equals and equals ignore case, they check the contents, not the references. Same thing for S8. If you compare it with S5, you get true. Let us run this code. So false, first one, because of only case mismatch. All the remaining ones are true. So equals and equals ignore case are very popular functions when it comes to comparing strings in Java. And that concludes our tutorial on Java basics of strings, most commonly used functions, and comparisons between strings.